5 underrated NBA players of the 2017-2018 NBA season. My name is Josh, your Envyerz. This list is just projected players that are going to have great years that no one's going to be talking about. This isn't in any order, but let's start off first with Goran Dragic of the Miami Heat. With the depleted roster of the Miami Heat last season, Dragic was a huge factor to taking this team almost to that playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Rewind a few years back, he almost did the exact same thing with the Phoenix Suns with him and Eric Bledsoe. Taking a look at his stats from last season, he averaged 20 points per game, tying his career high average back in his days with Phoenix. Not only was he a great scorer, but he also was able to average 5.8 assists and 3.8 rebounds for the Miami Heat team last season. Dragic is 31 years old, and he's never been in an NBA All-Star game. People say the same thing about Mike Conley, but if you take a look at Mike Conley's teams compared to Goran Dragic's team, Dragic has less to work with than Mike Conley does. I mean, none of his teams have been super amazing. The Phoenix Suns teams and the Miami Heat teams have been very average. There hasn't been that one standout superstar a part of it, and maybe Dragic needs to be traded from the Miami Heat team, or if the Miami Heat team can have something special going on there. It sucks that Dragic hasn't really been able to win anything. Moving on, let's talk about Dragic's former teammate, Eric Bledsoe of the Phoenix Suns. Well, currently of the Phoenix Suns, played 3 games, gave up on his team, and wants to be traded. So we'll see what happens with Eric Bledsoe, but he's in the prime of his career. He's 28 years old. Last season had the most amazing season statistically of his life, averaging 21 points per game, 6.3 assists, and 4.8 rebounds. It's going to be interesting to see how Eric Bledsoe's career plays out from here. I've been saying for the past few years, Bledsoe's been one of the best point guards in the NBA that nobody really talks about. So let's see what team wants Eric Bledsoe and wants him bad enough to trade some young assets to the Phoenix Suns. I'm pretty sure that's what the Phoenix Suns asking price is going to be. If the Cavs can afford him, you'd love to see him and LeBron play together. Or with Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, and Steven Adams, slide Bledsoe to the 2. That's a scary OKC starting 5. Maybe even with the New Orleans Pelicans, they could have an all-Kentucky lineup with Bledsoe, Rondo, Miller, Anthony Davis, and DeMarcus Cousins. That's going to be awful. But hey, I like the sound of an all-Kentucky lineup. Let me know in the comment section below, where do you feel Eric Bledsoe will end up if he isn't already traded by the time I upload this video. Next up, let's talk about Alfred Payton of the Orlando Magic. Magic fans I've heard from say they want Alfred Payton to be traded away. And honestly, for the Magic and for Alfred Payton, that's probably the best solution to happen. Last year, Alfred Payton averaged 12.8 points per game, 6.5 assists, and 4.7 rebounds. The man can't shoot. He cannot shoot from the NBA three-point line in game. He's still young, so he could still develop a three-point shot later on in his career. But if he had that three-point shot right now, the Magic would probably be a whole lot better than what they are. It doesn't really help Alfred Payton's case with the Orlando Magic because they have a variety of different backup point guards. They're paying DJ Augustin a couple millions, Shelvin Mack, relatively cheaper deal than DJ Augustin, but they got an okay point guard position, and if the right offer comes along, why not trade Alfred Payton away? I mean, they already traded Victor Oladipo for Terrence Ross essentially, and I don't see this Magic team with this core group of guys winning anytime soon. I mean, Alfred Payton, Vucevic, Gordon, and Jonathan Isaac. 2 out of 4 of these guys will probably be traded within a couple of years. And if the Magic aren't going anywhere, I guess they're still in rebuild mode? Get younger? I don't know. The Magic are a weird organization right now. Hopefully they're able to unleash Alfred Payton, if not trade him to a different team that will. Next we have my most improved player of the year candidate, Rodney Hood. Plays for the Utah Jazz, now with Gordon Hayward gone, George Hill gone. This team needs scoring, and I believe Rodney Hood can provide the Jazz scoring. Last year's Rodney Hood stats weren't the best considering they were a very decent Utah Jazz team. He only put up 12.7 points per game, 1.6 assists, 3.4 rebounds. Not the best stat line, but this year I'm expecting huge things from Rodney Hood if he can stay healthy and the Utah Jazz team. He's currently averaging 16 points per game with the Utah Jazz team out of the games he has played. Hopefully that number goes up if he wants to win most improved player of the year. He definitely needs at least 18 points if he's going to get it. There's a lot of great NBA players that improve their game, and I'm not sure if Rodney Hood's trying for it, but he's definitely my favorite to win the award. He's a sleeper because he plays for the Utah Jazz, most importantly, because there's a variety of different guys that will probably be putting up similar numbers this season that will be getting more praise than him simply for the team they play for. Depending on how the Utah Jazz play by the end of the season and if they're in playoffs or not, Rodney Hood, you might be hearing a lot of people talking about him then. Lastly, let's talk about Khris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are a young upcoming team that just can't seem to catch a break and have everything click at the right time just yet. I mean, Khris Middleton was hurt for a good majority of the season. Jabari Parker out with the knee injury once again. Nevertheless, let's take a look at the stats that Khris Middleton was able to put up during the 29 games he was playing last season. Last season averaged 14.7 points per game, 3.4 assists, and 4.2 rebounds. Now, if he can stay healthy coming back from that injury season, maybe he could get back to putting up 18 points per game. The Bucks definitely need another scorer next to Giannis, whether it's Khris Middleton or Jabari Parker. My money's on Khris Middleton stepping up. He's the best shooter in that starting lineup. Giannis, although he's a possible MVP candidate for this season, he doesn't quite have a jump shot just yet. The Bucks are in really desperate need of Khris Middleton staying healthy along with Jabari Parker, but I honestly feel like Khris Middleton's the X factor for the Milwaukee Bucks team. The Bucks are an extremely young team, a very exciting team. He could easily be the second or third option for the Milwaukee Bucks, so be on the lookout for Khris Middleton and all the other players I mentioned in this video. With that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed my 5 most underrated players in this year's NBA season. So do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section below, along with telling me your 5 most underrated players this upcoming season, along with adding any other players I may have missed, liking the video, sharing the video, and checking out these other videos on screen.